So sometimes in my intros I say, finally I'm back for another video. But I think this time I can generally mean it, because I've been gone for like nearly 3 weeks. So finally I am back, and finally I'm here for another video, and finally it's another album review.
Think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise.
So hello, and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now, yeah, as I said at the start, it's been a long time since I've done a video, nearly 3 weeks, and I'm normally doing at least one, normally 2 a week. So for those of you who've just clicked on this video because I want to see the album review, you might be better off skipping 2 minutes ahead, because I've got a bit of explaining to do just before we crack onto the actual album review. So I actually filmed a video about 2-3 weeks ago, straight after I uploaded my Coldplay video, which was my last video. And I explained a few things that's been going on as to why it's been a while since I uploaded a video. One of those things being because the software that I used to edit videos on had died, so I had to get a new one. I explain all this in the next video I'll upload, which is a vinyl update. So you'll see me go over all this again in my next video, so you can just skip over that. Take the chair down a bit more. So yeah, I've got new editing software, and I've got a new camera, because I film on my phone, because I'm that far advanced, and yeah, new camera. So there's the 2 things, which you'll see me go over in more detail in my next video, which I've already filmed. Then, after, that was like that was my explaining for the first week why I didn't upload any videos. The next week why I didn't upload any videos is because I had a really stressful week at work. I just had a load of stuff going on, and I was coming home. I was starting early and coming home late, basically, so I was having really long days. And it was quite a stressful week for me at work. And I also had to get ready for a holiday, because I went on holiday, which is my excuse for the last week why I didn't have any videos up. I went away on holiday with some of my mates. So yeah, that's why I haven't uploaded in about 3 weeks. But I'm back now. I'm filming a video here. I've got another video which I filmed 3 weeks ago, which is ready to go, which is going to go up in the next couple of days. So this channel should hopefully start getting back to normal. Also, I'm nearly at 3,000 subscribers, which is generally incredible. It's amazing. So 3,000 subs. I didn't want to do another contest, because I have a contest planned later on in the year. But I thought I'd do my first live video. So yeah, when I hit 3,000 subscribers, I'll upload a video giving you the time and the date as to when my live video will be, so you guys can tune in and we can all have, we'll do like a live discussion thing, which would be pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that's that. So anyway, hopefully the new editing software and the new camera is going to go along well. And yeah, the channel should get back to how it was now, hopefully. So anyway, album review time. So today we're going to be doing Phil Collins, But Seriously. So for those of you guys who know, I've been doing Phil Collins albums in chronological order. I've been reviewing albums with this new format for nearly 2 years now. One of the very first ones I'd done was Face Value. And then I done Hello, I Must Be Going. And then I done No Jacket. Cool, that must have been about 6 months ago now. So here we are at the next album, But Seriously. So this album review, what I'm going to do is we're going to go over a bit of information about the album. We're going to go over each track individually. We're going to mark each track individually at 10. I'm going to show you my copy of the vinyl record, and then we're going to mark the artwork for this album at 10. Then we're going to add up all the scores given, and we're going to divide it by the total number of scores given to give us an overall marking for this album out of 10. Normally I'll go over to the album ranking board at that point and put it on the album ranking board to see where it compares to other albums I've reviewed here on this channel. But unfortunately I don't have the album ranking board with me today, so we'll have to wait for the next video to see that. But yeah, so that's this video, so shall we get started? So yes, Phil Collins, But Seriously, this was his 4th solo album, released on the 20th of November 1989. And this is the first album for Phil where you can really... It's an album that's kind of torn for me. You get, you get those kind of sounds that he had going on in the 80s with No Jacket. But then you can also get hints at other albums to come from the 90s, like Both Sides of the Story and his Disney work on Tarzan and Brother Bear. So this album is really cool. If you like both sides of Phil, his 80s and 90s work, this album has a good mix of like both kind of vibes that Phil had going on throughout them decades. So the album hit #1 in the UK and US. It was the best-selling album of the 1990s period. It is one of the best-selling albums in general. It's, this album just never seemed to go away. It had 5 top 40 singles, one of which got an award for Best Song of the Year, I believe, and that was Another Day in Paradise. It has one of Phil's most famous songs ever on, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. It also has I Wish It Would Rain Down, which is a very, very famous Phil song as well. And yeah, this album has a much more organic feel to it. Phil wanted to give this album a bit more of a change of pace over his last album, wanted it to have a more serious side. There's also a lot of political influences in this, and the tone of this album, as I say, it goes back and forth. While Phil says it's a more political, more organic album, I do agree on about 2/3 of the album. The other third does generally give me the same kind of vibes, a bit more intelligent vibes, I'll say, than No Jacket. But anyway, this album has 10 songs on, so we best get started. So the opening track is Hang In Long Enough, which starts with, this is one of those songs which really does remind me of No Jacket. It has great sax intro, it's very heavy, it has a very 80s feel, which is good, but I think a lot of artists, especially 1989 was probably the best year in the 80s, in my opinion, for music, because you could see artists getting back to the way they were when it comes to a lot of these older ones, and you could see music changing for the better, in my opinion. And it has a very lively vocals from Phil, which is great. And it does feel slightly, it does feel very similar to the last album, but it has a bit more going on in it. The lyrics are a bit more complex. The vocals are a bit more diverse. And the song generally has a better production all round to it. So yeah, it is a good song, but I wouldn't have picked this as the opening song for this album because it doesn't set the best tone for this album, because I think there are generally a lot more better songs on here. And I think the majority of the album generally has a different sound to it as well. So I'm going to give this track a 7 out of 10. It is a good song, but it is not one of the best. And the next track is called That's Just the Way It Is. According to Phil, it's an anti-war ballad, which you can hear in the lyrics, of course, about the Northern Ireland situation that was going on at the time. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know half the stuff that was going on with that, a bit before my time. And, we're talking about music here, not war. And, it's a much slower song. And it really reminds me of In the Air Tonight, of course, from his debut album, Face Value. And it does a very similar thing to In the Air Tonight. It has a very similar sound where you can just hear the drums and Phil singing in the same style vocals. And it's a really, really cool song in the way that it builds and builds. But whereas In the Air Tonight just builds and builds and builds and builds, and then he lets it all out. This song kind of builds for about a minute or two, then another layer of instruments are added on top, then another layer. And by the end of it, it's just almost a very climactic song where you get a really good payoff. But the song does end a bit suddenly, and I do prefer the way that In the Air Tonight did it, where it was just build, 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 let it all out. That made that song very memorable and gave that song a lot of character. And I think this song has a bit less character because it didn't do it in that style. But then if you did do it in that style, people would be complaining. I probably would be complaining now that it's just an In the Air Tonight knockoff. So you can't be too harsh on it for that. But, it's a good song, but compared to what we're about to get on this album, it's kind of not super memorable because there's some real good songs coming up. So I'm going to give this song a 7 as well. It's good. For those of you guys who haven't seen my reviews before, I always say 5 is the middle point. Anything above a 5 is good, anything under a 5 is bad. So 7 is still a good score. But then we get Find a Way to My Heart, which, people look at the Disney songs like this, and I will review the Disney Phil Collins songs when we get there, because we're going in chronological order. And I'm a sucker for them kind of songs. I know the lyrics are a bit sappy and a bit soshy. And this song here really reminds me of the Disney stuff that's to come. But I love it. It's so fun. I have warm feelings listening to these songs from these films as a kid. And this song reminds me of them, which is why I really like it. And it's really cool, this song, how it moves straight from That's Just the Way It Is into this song. There's like no pause. The songs just flow together, which is really cool. I like it when that happens. And it starts amazingly. As I say, it reminds me in the style of the Disney songs. The song flows really well. The chorus is just so damn fun. And overall, that's the best way to describe this song. It's really fun. And if it's really fun, I can't complain about it much. I'm going to give this song a 9 out of 10. I think it's really good. And then we get a song called Colours, again a very political song, and because of this you can really hear, especially at the start of the song, he takes a very serious vibe to it. It is a very serious sounding song. But then the song does all sorts of things. It goes off into its own thing, almost like its own kind of medley of songs, but it's all combined into this one song called Colours. And the drums kick in, and it's just... the song does so much. It has so many different things layered upon layer. And the really cool thing with all these different styles and to the length of the song, every instrument on this song has a moment to shine. There's a great guitar solo in there. Of course, the sax are doing their thing again, great. Phil's doing his bit on the drum, and his vocals are great. This song has so much going for it. It is really, really good. There's parts in it I'm not as keen on, but there's parts on it I just generally love and wish were longer. But I really respect songs like that, even when there's small parts which I don't care for as much, like the start. I get it, it's a political song, it's meant to be very serious, but Phil's a very fun musician. I like it when he's being more fun and upbeat, like on Find a Way to My Heart. So I'm not going to lie, the start of the song doesn't do too much for me, but it's hard to be critical on this song because it has so much going for it. There's so much to enjoy. There's something in this song which I'm sure everyone will tap their foot to. And for this, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. It's a really good song. Then we go on to Father to Son, which is lyrically quite a good song. Just about a father singing to his son about love, really. Singing, hey, if you find a girl, great. If she leaves you, don't worry. There's plenty more fish in the sea. That's kind of the approach, or the definition from the song I got anyway when I listened to it. And it's a very slow song, which is... it's good. I like slow songs. My favourite songs are slow, generally. But for this album, it's a very forgettable song, unfortunately, because, we've got slow songs, like, that's just the way it is, which has more character to it because it actually goes somewhere and does something. This song's just kind of flat. It just goes all in one line. And the only reason I'm going to give it a higher mark than a 5 is purely because of the lyrics. I think that, they're not amazing lyrics. They're not like, a Bob Dylan piece or a Lennon and McCartney piece of lyrics. But they're quite nice. I don't have anything to complain about with them. So I'm going to give this song a 6 out of 10. So moving on to the B-side, got 5 more tracks here. We've got Another Day in Paradise, which is possibly one of Phil Collins' most famous songs. The song is about... he's already done this with Genesis. He's already done a song like this with Genesis, which surrounds this topic where it's about homelessness. And it's from his perspective, or Phil's perspective, or the perspective of a man watching this homeless man and seeing another man just kind of walk across the street and not even think twice about him. We know that line from this song. See where I'm getting at? So it's very clever in its lyrics. I had no idea when I was listening to it that it was about homelessness. But do your research. You find these things out. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. But the song itself starts differently to the single version. There's a few sounds at the start. It's kind of like John Lennon's Mother, how the single just starts off with John singing Mother, but then you put the album Plastic Ono Band on and you get the bells going boo, boo. It's kind of similar, just get some sounds going on at the start to the album version. But how it kicks off, it's a great song. I've generally I didn't make many notes on this song because you guys all know this song. The instrumentation's brilliant, some of Phil's best vocals, the song is incredible, the chorus is absolutely amazing. It's another 9 out of 10 song, fantastic. And we get a song called All of My Life, which I feel very similar to as Father and Son, or Father to Son. Starts with a great sax. The sax is great at the start, the sax is very dominant on his album, and I think it deserved the moment to kind of just shine and let it all out, and this is the song where it does it. So that's great. But then moving into the song itself, it's slow until it basically it drastically changes, really. So I'll give it that. It has a bit more over Father to Son, because it does drastically change, led by the drums, but it's not a bad song, but it's just really forgettable, I find. I don't know what it is about this song. I just never, ever go back to this song. All the other tracks I do occasionally go back to, I guess. Even Father to Son, I've been back to a couple times. don't know, this song is just really, really forgettable to me for some reason. I'm sure there's some people who like it a lot more than me and would say it's one of the highlights, but for me, I don't know, I just never really got into this one. So for me, it's going to be a personal 6 out of 10. And then we get on to what is also one of Phil's most famous songs, and it is Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. And it's one of Phil's, best, really. It's a really good song. It really goes back to No Jacket again, though. This song sounds exactly like it could have come off that album. Lyrics, very too much going on with it. The title of the song, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven, is only mentioned once. It's not like a chorus where it's just thrown at you and thrown at you and thrown at you. Yeah, it's a lively song. It's just incredibly catchy. That's the thing with it. Incredibly catchy. Yeah, I'll give this song an 8 out of 10. Then we get a track called Do You Remember? The song is from the perspective of a man's relationship which is falling apart due to his lover's neglect. And it's a much slower song, which is needed after Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. Because Something on the Way to Heaven is like in your face, it's boom, 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 boom. Whereas now it's like, yeah, he's done this well. We need a slower song now. This generally, it's better. So yeah, it's a nice slow ballad, but it's a bit like father to son, really, same sort of thing. It's like, it's alright. There's nothing to dislike, but there's nothing really too much to like here. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. And then we get to what is possibly my favourite track on the album, which closes it, and it's I Wish It Would Rain Down. This is Collins trying to do his first, or what he claims is his first blues song. Although some of his songs on previous albums, and Genesis even, I've got a couple bluesy hints to. So because it's blues, he invited his friend who he'd worked with during the 80s, Mr. Eric Clapton, along to play on this song as well. Of course, Phil Collins produced 2 of Eric Clapton's albums in the 80s, so them 2 were quite close. And you know me, I'm a massive Eric Clapton fan, so hearing Eric and Phil together is always good. And Eric, opens up this song with the guitar, which is incredible. This is why the man is known to be one of the best guitarists ever. He's fantastic. And he's dominant throughout the song. He comes and goes on it, kind of thing. And he's, Eric, when you get Eric on the guitar, it's going to be good. You can never say Eric's bad on the guitar. Fucking amazing. So anyway, yeah. But the song itself, it's just such a great song, really. Phil's, the chorus itself, Phil's known for doing amazing choruses. He's known to be a very catchy musician. And people are catchy through their choruses normally. It's the choruses you remember the most from songs. But I think this is his best chorus, purely down to emotion and soul that's put into it. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a fantastic song. The backing vocals are great. I love Phil's vocals. Lyrics fantastic. I'm going to give this song a 9 out of 10. Can you hear the rain? It's just starting to rain. Fantastic. That's just what you need. Come home from a nice holiday. How'd you get? Welcome home. The rain. Lovely. So anyway, let's have a quick look at the album artwork. So I really love that it feels kind of keeping with the face thing. Boom, boom, boom. And he does keep with it on his next album, but then the album that follows that, he kind of screws it up a little bit. So anyway, it's nice. I really like the consistency thing that he's got going on here. And the same with the font. Every album he has the same kind of font on his records, which is cool. So I just love the consistency of Phil's early albums. They're great. So yeah, and then we go on to the inner sleeve, which is really nice. We get some pictures of the recording sessions. And then we get all the lyrics, which again, I believe the other albums did. I love it. I do love consistency. And then it's the exact same on the record label, very similar to the previous albums, which is really cool. Get it off. Get it off. Oh, I blew on it. People are going to be telling me off for that. Don't know how people expect you to handle records. I really don't. I really don't. I think some people just expect you just to not even get the record out of the sleeve. Don't know how you're meant to play it then. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to give the album artwork an 8 out of 10. It's nothing special, it's nothing amazing, but I really love the consistency. It's just something that I like personally. So yeah, added up all the scores, so that's 11 scores, 10 songs in the artwork. Added them all up, divided it by 11. And this album out of 10 is going to get a 7.6. So yes, it's a 7.6 for Phil Collins, but seriously, So yeah, this is my favourite album of his so far out of his first 4. Will both sides of the story, or both sides even, both sides beat it? We'll have to wait and see for the next Phil Collins review. But anyway, thank you guys for watching so much. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time for another video. It's a vinyl update, by the way. Already filmed it, but I told you guys that. So I don't know why I'm saying it again. I'm going to end the video now. Ta-ta.